So Jodi, let me just take a break here on this because you gave me this the ruling, and I'm going to read it if you don't mind. For those who are listening, this is 5 pages, so it's going to take a little bit of time here, but I want to get your comment on a few things here. Okay. So the matter came before the court for hearing on September the 21st, 2017. The court heard arguments on several motions, including a joint motion to dismiss filed by father and guardian ad litem, and this is Nicole
Garbage Nolan.
And like I said, I don't like her already.
Nicole Garbage Nolan.
Okay, good.
That's how she's known in Iowa.
Good. Father and guardian ad litem, father who kidnapped the kids, guardian, and for those people who think, well, he's just a father, he just loves his children. No. That's not the way it was.
No.
Okay, and guardian ad litem, who didn't even meet the kids, but somehow knew what their best interests were,
right.
Have moved to dismiss the petition on 2 bases. Number 1, failure to state a claim. And number 2, issue preclusion. Mother resisted the motion, arguing her petition complied with statutory requirements and is not subject to issue preclusion. Having considered the parents' oral and written arguments, the court now enters the following ruling. On August 29th, because I saw a little bit of this and I said, you've got to be kidding me, the reasoning behind this. On August 29th, 2017, Mother, through counsel, filed an amended petition for family in need of assistance. FINA, this is what you're talking about.
Right.
The first case that has been heard in 10 years, you said? First case in 10 years. Mother is the biological mother of Courtney and KYLEIGH Terry.
KYLEIGH.
KYLEIGH, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Courtney and KYLEIGH currently reside with their biological father. They were kidnapped from you and now live with him. Courtney and KYLEIGH were born on February 22nd, 2000 and are currently 17 years old, just 5 months from the age of majority. Mm-hmm. It looks to me already like she's just trying to kick this can down the road.
To age them out.
To age them out so that she doesn't have to make a ruling.
That's right.
Never mind,
I haven't seen him since March of 2015.
I don't like this judge now either. So anyway, go ahead. Courtney and KYLEIGH are currently involved in therapy. Mother and father were recently involved in a modification decree entered by District Court of Dallas County, Iowa. Following mediation in that action, the parties were initially ordered to participate in reunification counseling. This is the part that just floors me. Reunification counseling was not successful, in part due to father's refusal to participate.
No, not in part, in all.
In all, I know.
I drove 11 times.
From Dallas
From
to...
here to there, and 6 of those 11 times the children were supposed to be there. So I took pictures of empty chairs.
Wow.
None of this is in part by me. I drove in snowstorms.
Well, I know that because, we would talk sometimes when you were on the phone driving up there, right. Or before you were going up there, or after you were there.
And the court order, just so everyone knows, said if the doctor, Randall Reynolds, called, we had to go. So that was part of the court order. So if he called and said, I have Saturday available, I'd leave Friday 3 hours early from work because I work nights, right. And start driving through the night.
Right. And isn't it true that because of some of this stuff, you are no longer working with the...
I had so many cancellations, continuances, delays, manufactured conflicts. He put himself in the hospital right when I crossed the Missouri-Iowa border for a sore leg.
And he has
double-checked that with my son because I've only seen my son for 4 hours in 4 years. He said he went in for a sore leg. I don't know why he couldn't go to court.
Yeah.
He's so good at gaslighting, he can even fake an injury.
Reunification counseling was not ordered in the modification decree. Mother in her petition alleges there has been a breakdown in the familial relationship between her and Courtney and KYLEIGH. Specifically, Mother alleges that following the entry of a modification decree, there has been parental alienation perpetrated by the father that has damaged the mother's relationship with the children.
No, stop right there.
Okay, I will. I was going to...
that last sentence? Following, read that again.
Okay, following the entry of the modification decree.
But the modification was done November 18th.
Okay.
He's saying following that, the alienation started. No. Oh, nay.
Yeah.
The alienation started when they were born, actually.
Yeah. But anyway,
it just continues. So
there has been parental alienation perpetrated by the father that has damaged the mother's relationship with the children. I would say so. Like, again, I've seen the pictures of you all. What it was, George Strait concerts and other places.
Oh, all the time. Billy Bob's teaching them line dancing, concerts.
Yeah. And I don't see your ex-husband anywhere in the pictures.
No.
Now, is that intentional? Or is that
No,
just
that was him.
He wasn't
Whenever
there.
he was around, I took their picture together,
Yeah.
and those are in albums.
Yeah.
And all those that are in an album
Yeah.
are of him standing in front of his car with my children, because he kidnapped the first two when they were 2 and 4 in the middle of baby shower. So I was traumatized.
Yeah.
Didn't know they were even in his car, and I didn't
Yeah.
see him for 28 days. So from that point forward, anytime he would show up, I'd line him up in front of his car. This might sound crazy. I call it preventative.
Yeah.
And I wanted a picture of his license plate. Now, my children were never told why that's where they were posing. But my
Right.
ex finally figured it out.
Right.
So if you ever see a picture of them together, they're in front of his car. Because if a cop ever said, well, what's his plates?
You
What
would
the
have
kids
it.
look like, I have it
Yeah.
all.
So, and they were Texas plates? Iowa plates?
He's had Texas plates
Let's not,
forever.
yeah, I know, Texas plates. Even though he's an Iowa resident, he's has Texas plates. But,
And he claims Texas on his taxes.
okay.
Because you don't pay state tax. down
Right, yeah. And he's also a Navy SEAL.
there. Right. And a DIA agent.
Oh,
That's
okay,
the
good.
Department of Intelligence.
Okay, well,
Yes.
okay, good enough. So, mother argues that the court's assistance is necessary as the court has at its disposal, which can aid the family. And as you said, you spoke with Senator Grassley,
Yep.
and this aid was available.
Cemented it, yes.
Okay, so
Actually said.
okay.
It's available.
It's available, and you're saying it's necessary. We need it.
Right.
Okay,
and then
so-
Melissa Martin stated, regardless of the Title IV-B, which I didn't know how it all worked, I'm just saying it's there.
Right.
She's the ADA advocate. She says
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. The FINA shows court has this, they have the funding or the budget, and the court is responsible for getting the services, for paying for those, and then they go after the funding to get reimbursed.
Okay,
See what I mean?
so they have to do it.
They have to do it.
It's an obligation of the court. The court just can't say, we didn't want to do it because it's going to be too much paperwork for us.
Right.
Okay,
All
good
I had
enough.
to prove is the breakdown.
Okay.
Which I proved in that first pretrial. Because Judge Seymour said I'm very
Yeah.
concerned about these children.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing how Judge Seymour changed. It's a
she's
her,
not
right?
concerned anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing how
And
Judge
she has
Seymour
6 children, by
changed
the way.
her mind. So, family in need of assistance proceedings are governed by Iowa Code sections 232.122-127. Petition requirements are set forth in section 232.125. Section 232.127 addresses the procedure for FINA cases, including hearings, adjudication, and disposition. The court has found no case law or legislative history, well, it's been 10 years since they've had one, right?
Right.
That guides the court's interpretation and application of statutes regarding FINA cases. So let's just kick this thing down the road so we don't have to be,
And it guides their interpretation.
yeah.
That's a
Good
problem.
grief. When construing a statute, this court's ultimate goal is to ascertain and give effect to the intention of the legislature. You know what? We could use this in a lot of things because, they would find out that they're actually working against the intent of many things. But
That's
anyway.
exactly what I'm going to use this for. I'm going to show this to every legislator.
Wow.
Look at this.
Yeah. CN regarding RLD 456 Northwest 2nd 919 920
That's some case
Iowa.
law, I
Yeah.
guess.
Excuse me.
Which, I don't know why.
I'm allergic to BS. Anyway, the court is to consider the language of the statute and the object sought to be accomplished. After considering the language of the statute, it is clear, I may be sneezing a lot now. After considering the language of the statute, it is clear to the court that the statute is primarily concerned with child or children. Feel free to interject whenever you need to comment. First, the court notes that the placement of the FINA placement of the FINA statutes. The FINA statutes fall under Chapter 232, Juvenile Justice. Chapter 232 is to be liberally construed. Oh boy, this is going to be like, we're going to be reading a whole lot into this puppy.
Right.
Liberally construed to ensure that children receive guidance and control that will best serve the child's welfare. This is Iowa Code 232.1. What would best serve the guidance that would best serve the child's welfare? I know.
One unfit parent. maybe.
There you go. There, it's just Iowa
Yeah.
Code.
That's always best for children. Just
Yeah, I
one
know.
Parent.
Just tell the kids, hey kids, your mom's crazy, or your dad's crazy. Yeah,
Erase her.
yeah.
Erase her.
Yeah.
She's done. Yeah.
Second, Section 232.127 outlines the steps the court may take if the court finds services are necessary. The court may not order the child placed on probation in a foster home or in a This is bull.
And nobody said they're going to be placed anywhere.
This is craziness.
If they were to go to Linda Gottlieb for deprogramming,
Yeah.
she's not putting them in a cage. She's not putting them in a facility. I am going to be there with them with the deprogram. They would go visit her and then...
And you would be there with her. That's part of the idea of the deprogramming.
Yeah, they're not locked up.
For crying out loud, Iowa Code 232-127-7. Any child found in contempt of court because of violation of conditions imposed under this section shall not be considered delinquent. This is just... How beautiful. I wonder how we're going to liberally construe this one. Iowa Code 232-1.127.9. Finally, the court may order a child emancipated if no remedy is available. This is a bunch of nonsense.
So now, right there, I want to know, since they said there's no remedy of relief, because the mother, me, says there's no alienation experts in Iowa, why aren't they emancipated then?
I know.
It just says,
I know.
If there's no remedy, so why didn't they emancipate them Friday?
You know, I'm reading this for the first time, so I'm just thinking about these things. Iowa Code 232.127.11, okay, that's about the emancipation, if no remedy is available. That's wonderful, too. So you know what? We're going to say there's no remedy available, so now we're going to now declare the kids emancipated.
Go get a job, kid.
I know. I'm like, this is nuts.
You're on your own.
Yeah.
We know you're mentally screwed up.
But we're taking care of the kids. We're looking out for their best interest. Boy, this judge, I'm sorry, you know, this ruling is a bunch of... Anyway, these provisions demonstrate that the purpose of the FINA statute is to provide services to children and is not designed to address possible parent noncompliance. So let me guess. My guess, Jodi, is that you were not in noncompliance, but your ex-husband was in noncompliance. Oh, so you know what? He gets to be in noncompliance, and we're not going to address him.
But here's the kicker. He can never be held in noncompliance because why? November 18th, Judge Husher claimed him as superior parent and gave him sole legal.
That was reversing everything that was already done.
So he can't even find him in contempt for not going.
Right. I got you.
So
this is as corrupt as can be. Mother's petition indicates that children are already involved in and complying with services like therapy. See
that's
Mother's petition.
Lie too.
Okay, I was going to say
when
I never.
Say that last sentence again.
Mother's petition indicates that children are already involved in and complying with services like therapy.
They are in therapy, but here's what I also said in that pretrial. They're in therapy with a lady named Audrey Geezy. When we went to mediation in July of 2015, the mediation agreement stated the children would go to Dr. Randall Reynolds, who's a forensic psychologist. Mm-hmm. Tim said, no, I want Susan Helkin Smith, who's trolling my Facebook page actually and likes my Facebook Live, and I contacted her boss about this because it's during her work time. She was able to get rid of my 2 children from me 2 years ago, and she'd never met me.
And what is her name again?
Susan Helkin, Helkenn Smith.
Okay.
And she works for iLearn,
Okay.
ILEARN,
Okay.
on Ingersoll in Des Moines, Iowa.
Okay.
So David Beeman, her boss, I said she better not be seeing my kids because she already ruined my older 2.
Right.
So Tim said in the mediation, I want Susan Helkin.
Yeah.
My lawyer at the time, Rich Webster, said, oh, just give him what he wants and we'll debunk her later because he's supposed to be going to Dr. Reynolds. I said, no. When he goes to get a regular therapist, if you're going through parental alienation, he goes in first and he plants the seeds of false abuse.
Right.
So now, the Susan Helkin formed a therapeutic alliance with Kaylin and Ian. Right? Mm-hmm. So now, since Susan Helkin was booted by David Beeman and said, you're not going to touch the twins, because Jodi's already called and said you had your hand on the knee of the dad, slapping it in court and laughing and flirting with him, which she did, and Susan Helkin Smith.
Well, that sounds pretty professional.
When she's in the hallway and I'm in the courtroom, this is in 2014, she pulls out a pair of little girl's panties and was giggling and asked my sister, do you have children? And my friends, and said, look what my daughter left in my coat pocket. Well, to me, it looked like a pedophile.
I was going to say, I would be furious.
Yeah. So I find this out later.
It sounds like what she's saying is that if you don't do things my way, we're going to make sure.
Yeah, you don't have. Yeah.
I mean,
she's just like stabbing me in the heart. Like,
yeah.
And my sister goes, well, Jodi had 4 until today, and you're about to take 2 for no reason.
Yeah. And what is her name again?
Susan Helkin Smith.
Okay.
Now, when I found out that she didn't want me to be in the life of my children, prior to that February 2014 hearing, my lawyer at the time was Kevin Hobbs, who's great. I recommend him to anyone.
Okay.
Love him. He's been my lawyer from 2000 up until 2014.
Right.
And he quit being a family court lawyer because he found out about the corruption.
Right.
And he hated my husband's guts, my ex.
Yeah.
So he says, I know your personality, Jodi, and I'm not even going to tell you what to do, but here's Susan's letter. I'm not looking at it after you read it. You do what you want. I call Susan Smith down at iLearn. Do you know anyone named Jodi? She says, no. Do you have a client you're seeing, like a child, with a mother named Jodi? She goes, I don't think so, but I couldn't tell you if I do. I said, well, let me introduce myself. My name is Jodi Terry at the time. My son is Ian and my daughter's Kaylin. And you said I should never see my kids again. But you've just severed them from their siblings as well. And my twins are having a very hard time. Plus me.
Right.
Why would you do this?
Yeah.
And I said, are you going to be down there? She goes, yes, I'll be there in 20 minutes. So I get down there and I handed her a stack of photo albums and I plopped them on her desk. We're going to play a little game, Susan. And it's called Where's Tim Terry? And I want you to look in each one of these albums you find his picture.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you when the man comes around, I take a picture.
Yeah.
And every picture she saw, Jeff, was like I told you.
In front of the
Why is
cars.
he always in front of a car? It's the only time he's here. Once every 12 to 18 months. So you're not going to see more than 12 pictures, but yeah, you know, this would have been, you might have seen him 8 times by this, from 2000 till this time I'm talking to you. 8 separate times.
From 2000 until what, 2010? 2013?
Maybe 8 times.
Wow.
So times maybe 2 to 3 days. Was it 24 days tops?
And that was not because you were holding the kids from him. I mean,
No,
from what I
I'd call
heard,
him,
you
beg
just,
him.
yeah.
And when he did come, I'd go pick him up at the airport and drive him to the house and let him stay there.
Wow.
I'd say, please, just
Just
act like
be in
you're a
there,
dad.
yeah.
Just do something. No.
Yeah.
So when she came into the hearing in 2014, day after my dad's memorial that my older 2 were not at, because my ex wouldn't tell him that my dad was dead, she's slapping my ex on the knee and they're joking and hooting and hollering in the room off the Dallas County, Iowa courtroom. And she gets on the stand, says that I told my son he looked like shit. And I'm sitting there in shock. Well, I've never said that. Now, mind you, she'd already seen me with the albums.
Right.
I asked her if she knew my son had Asperger's while I was with her. She goes, what are you talking about? Oh, you didn't know he had that? She goes, no. I said, how many times did he cry? Why he's in it? She goes, all the time. You know why? She goes, no. Because my narcissistic ex had him come off the meds right before you met him. So he's in withdrawals. And so he cries because he's very sensitive.
Right.
And I'm not saying this to hurt my son.
Right.
I was
you're
trying
right.
to get help for my son, and he was eventually would have grown out of this a little bit. He's very uber smart, and but socially, you know, if a kid knocks at the door, he goes, "What do you want? What do they want me to do?"
Yeah.
He wanted it planned out.
Right.
You know, and anyway, there's a lot of stress there, and narcissistic people don't want their kids to have any different. They can't be different.
Right.
Now, this he doesn't look different. There's
Right.
nothing wrong with him other than, you know, little things like that. So she said he cried all the time. I said, did he hang on my ex? She said, yeah, they're very close. Well, my son is 14 and a half. Was he holding on to him like this with his arm? And she said, yeah, they're very close. I go, no, that's kind of sick. Not on the part of my son, but there's something going on there. And I didn't know what parental alienation back then was.
Right.
I didn't really know. And so I said, he's got this. And she said, I didn't know. I thought he was oversensitive. So she gets on the stand and said, Jodi said he looks like shit. That'd be the last thing I'd say to my son, or any of my kids.
Right.
And when I got on there, of course, she's gone by now.
Right.
And she stated, I don't want Ian to see his mother until I get to have more therapy with him. Now, it shouldn't be up to her anyway. She's not a judge.
No.
And I told the judge when I got up there, she'll never see him again. I promise you she'll never see him again. Because he just got what he wanted.
Right.
She did his bidding for him.
Right.
So I get up and I said, I didn't say my son looked like shit. I know what she's referring to. He came up from his bedroom and I said, where'd you get that shirt? And he goes, TJ Maxx. I said, oh, that's really cool. And I said, what'd you girls get? Because they'd just been at Dad's.
Yeah.
Who was barely around. And they just went, nothing.
Nothing.
Why didn't you get anything? Dad doesn't take us. He only takes the older two. What? And I said, Ian, why aren't they? Nope, I'm not putting you in the middle. Never mind.
Yeah.
Come on, girls, get in the car.
Yeah.
Because I'm always compensating. I shouldn't have to, but I've had to
Right.
do this their whole life.
Yeah.
So they're crying. Why doesn't he like us? Why doesn't he like us? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
For years, I'd say he likes you. He just has a hard time. Well, you can't keep saying
You can't
this.
keep saying that forever, right?
They don't believe it.
Right.
And so my son must have said, because Tim probably said, "What'd your mom say about your shirt?" But I told Tim, I said, I told my son, well, it looks good on you. At least your dad knows what looks good on you. You always look good in green and orange for some reason.
Yeah.
With his green eyes. And so he went out and told the dad, well, she just said, I like your shirt. And I said, you look like a Tiny Tim. I don't mean the fiddle player.
Yeah.
He doesn't know that. I meant his dad.
His dad,
In
right.
a good way.
Yeah.
I'm saying it in a good. I've never said his dad's ugly.
Yeah.
He's part of them. So he said, you look like a Tiny Tim. So his dad turned that around. Oh, so you look like shit. And planted that in his head. And then it got to Susan.
Wow.
This is how this happens with parental alienation.
Yeah.
You
No,
see what I mean?
I know exactly. When you've talked about gaslighting before and everything else, exactly.
So now going back to,
The false allegations, they're just
yeah.
rampant.
so now going back to the mediation, because she knew how I felt about her, she wasn't about to touch Courtney and KYLEIGH.
Right.
She's already in deep trouble.
Right.
So he doesn't go to Dr. Reynolds for 8 months, and I didn't know that a mediation agreement is only a suggestion until a judge signs it. I had no idea.
Yeah.
So my lawyer at the time, Rich Webster, said, oh, give him time, he'll go. I said, it's been 8 months. Isn't there something we can do to enforce?
Yeah.
Something, an emergency? I haven't seen my kids in 8 months.
Yeah.
So now he calls me up, we're going to do a motion to enforce on January 8th, 2016. Doesn't let me in the chambers and says, we're taking away your child support. The judge says, because you don't have the kids. Well, I wasn't allowed in there. I'm still maintaining a home for the kids.
Right.
So I had to lose my 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath duplex that was just big enough for the three of us and go
Right.
down to a 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment knowing I'll never see the kids again because
Right.
now they're not going to let them come back to me.
After he's kidnapped them.
Right.
Yeah.
And he got that. So now, both attorneys, Charlotte Coyle, Keul was Tim's attorney,
KEUL.
and of Hope Law Firm,
Okay.
West Des Moines, and my lawyer, Rich Webster, at Valley West Towers. Both asked to speak to Dr. Reynolds, the reunification therapist. Dr. Reynolds says there's no reason why Jodi should have lost these kids. And I'm going to testify to that fact. And I'm going to say that she should have these kids back, or at least be in their life. Charlotte Coyle started screaming at him and said, that's not your call. He said, actually it is, because the agreement says I get to tell him when to reunify with the mother. And I say right now, yesterday. Okay. So Charlotte goes to tell Tim, and within a week, Tim hires Audrey Giese,
Okay.
who's not on the mediation agreement.
Got it.
So like you're saying right there, she's only a social worker. So she's a social worker just like the guardian ad litem, basically.
Yeah.
That, right?
Yeah.
And
You don't need to-
coincidentally, at Valley West Towers with both these lawyers in the same building. Okay? So now, I've begged Audrey Giese to have me come in. You screwed it up. You screwed up the reunification therapy. You've now said I shouldn't see my twins, and you've never met me. I'm begging you to do a reunification therapy. My daughter wants to die. Here's some parental alienation stuff. And in a week, I get a cease and desist from her lawyer.
Unreal.
So now the therapy that they're just saying right there that you just said,
Is
I didn't say, yes, they're in therapy, but they're not in
Yeah.
the right therapy.
Yeah.
And even KYLEIGH herself states on Twitter, and the FBI knows it now, and he saw it, of all my 17 years of life, I never would have dreamed my own therapist would say, not killing yourself is a great achievement.
wow.
That's
Wow.
sick.
It is sick. It's sick as can be.
They need to be in trauma-informed therapy. She may say she.
This should be an emergency thing. This should not even be an instance that anybody has to, you know. I'm sorry, but
she's seen them since January of 2016.
yeah.
Look
This
at where
is
we're
just
at.
crap.
She's seen them this long and never
Yeah.
said, I wonder if it'd help if your mom was in your life.
Yeah.
You've got
Are you paying her bills? No. Oh, so therefore, she can't have her mom.
Their diagnosis is situational adjustment disorder.
Yeah.
The guardian had lied on them.
Situational adjustment disorder. Okay, so you've been kidnapped.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a situational disorder. Oh, for crying out loud.
The guardian
That takes
had
a
lied
genius.
on-
I can
yeah.
tell you that.
It's crazy. Everyone, plus you get that if you lose your job too.
I know.
But
This is.
what they really have is PTSD.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
So,
Among
or
other
complex
things.
PTSD, right?
Among other
They've been
things.
kidnapped, or they don't call it kidnapping. They said, we got on a plane. It was our idea. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's not your idea to leave your mom traumatized.
Yeah.
When you're this close to me.
No, that's not. It's full.
So now, Audrey Geezy, who's got Geezy counseling services, I hope no one goes to this lady
Yeah.
with a child that's in need like this, because
She's gonna screw him up.
she's already seen my kid almost 2 years.
Yeah.
She's never called CPS on me.
Yeah.
That's what people don't see. If I'm so abusive, why don't I have a CPS case?
Yeah. At the very
Where's the
least.
police report.
I mean, because CPS would just love to have.
Oh, they love blonde-headed, blue-eyed kids, wouldn't they?
I know.
They
So-
eat this up.
This is anyway. So let me continue on with this order then. In order to adjudicate, and like I said, I've never read this before. This is the first time you handed it to me. I'm reading this out loud.
Yeah.
In order to adjudicate the family as a family in need of assistance, the court must find one. There has been a breakdown in the relationship between the mother and the children. Okay, check to that.
Check.
Okay.
Yes.
2, the children or mother has sought services from the public or private agencies to maintain and improve the family relationship. I think we can check that one off. Okay, we've
I
got.
had it all the way up to Donald Trump. They have my letter that he sent to Health and Human Services. Yes, they said the White House. Donald Trump got the letter,
And he sent
sent it to Health and Human Services.
You know what? I
don't know how much higher you can get.
I know, and this is what I mean. When I wrote to your attorney, I said, here's some of the stuff that she has done,
Right.
and I think that people throughout, not just Iowa, I know half the people in Iowa know of your case, and there's many people in the states that know of your case. Anyway,
Texas, Missouri. I
Yeah.
spoke at the National Law Day in Missouri. They all know.
D.C., you were at the psychologist meeting.
I wrote to NAMI. I even wrote to the Brain Injury Institute
Yeah.
of Iowa.
Yeah,
And I said, can you do anything? All of us have PTSD from this.
yeah.
Nope, can't help you.
So the first 2 we have checked off here. Number 3, the court has at its disposal services to improve the familial relationship that can be made available to the family. So all 3 of these things are check, check, and check. Okay.
I already gave her the name of the alienation experts.
Iowa Code 232.127, 5A through C. The parties are in agreement that there has been a breakdown in the familial relationship. Well, that's good to know. And the mother has sought services from public or private agencies to maintain and improve the relationship. That's good to know. At issue is whether the court has at its disposal services which may maintain or improve the familial relationship. Are you kidding me? This is what she's saying? Is she ignorant?
Yes.
So she's making a ruling based on ignorance. She knows that these things are available
They
to
are
her.
available.
And you've told her that, and you've had Senator Grassley that said so. This is incredible.
And even if they don't bring the alienation expert in, any counselor, even Audrey Geezy, the idiot, if she could just bring me in,
Yeah.
just bring me in, she'll know that I'm not mean to them, but she won't.
Mother has requested, quote, appropriate counseling to address the parental alienation and to reunify and reestablish the relationship between her and the children. See mother's petition. However, the court does not believe this is such, you know what, I'm getting pissed. I'm really,
I know.
I get to the place that I start to see blood in my
Right.
However, the court does not believe. Has the court ascertained anything? Oh, we're just going to come up with his opinion.
Right.
That means nothing. The court does not believe it, quote, has at its disposal services that could it has at its disposal
Right.
services that could improve the familial relationship and can be made available to the family. Really, Judge? Are you absolutely serious? This is a bunch of bunk. You ought to be taking her to court over this stupid thing here. See Iowa Code 232.127, 5C. Mother admitted at the hearing there were no professionals and no services in the state of Iowa that can provide the type of counseling she now seeks.
That's true.
Okay.
There is none.
Okay.
I mean, not.
So what she's trying to say is that you've made this argument, and she's saying, oh, therefore we're going to turn the argument against you to say we don't have any of this stuff available.
Right.
But you are not saying there are not services available. It's just saying that they're not trained in it.
They're
If
not
I understand.
trained. Exactly.
Okay.
And Dr. Craig Childress himself, which I never got that out, has stated he will use his own time to educate any therapist.
Yeah.
He could call in and Skype.
Yeah.
Linda Gottlieb could come in.
Yeah.
Linda Gottlieb said, I'll train any of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. This.
All I'm asking is, get us in the same room.
Yeah.
In a room together, so I can see their face.
Yeah.
And see if they're okay.
Yeah. So this court has no This is, it infuriates me. The court has no services at its disposal, and no independent funds that can be dispersed for the mother's requested counseling.
And they do.
They do.
They already said they did. It's a pre-trial.
I know that. This is
It's
just
on court record that she says, we've already decided that the state will pay for the testimony of Linda Gottlieb or of Joni.
Moreover, the children continue to participate in therapy.
Which they do not.
Which they do not.
I have a
This
letter
is a
from
bunch
Audrey. From Audrey. It came straight from Nicole Garbus Nolan into the evidence file.
Yes.
We just found this out.
Yeah.
KYLEIGH has not seen this therapist since June, and her last suicide ideation was July.
Wow. While mother argues these services are inappropriate, which for all intents and purposes they definitely are, the GAL, this is the part that gets me, the GAL, who doesn't even know your kids,
Right.
somehow she knows them better than you do, Jodi.
Yeah.
This is a bunch of bull.
Wait till everyone needs to look at her Facebook.
Give us her name
Facebook.
again.
Nicole Garbus Nolan, and see what she's into. Please see what she's
Yeah.
into.
You're going to have to show me her Facebook. I'll look into it. The GAL has informed the court this therapy is appropriate. This is just, you know what, I'm sorry. I'm getting, my blood boils quickly over some things. Is appropriate. And the Courtney and KYLEIGH are doing well. So you have a daughter who's threatened to, wants to commit suicide, but she's doing well.
Yeah.
This
both have-
GAL should be fired immediately for incompetence.
Yep. And both girls, even in Audrey's letter that GAL handed in, said they have situational adjustment disorder. She said in the pretrial conference they're thriving. How's that thriving?
Crap.
Just because you have good grades?
Yeah.
My kids are smart as hell.
Yeah.
They all have good grades. That doesn't mean you're thriving
Yeah.
mentally.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
You're not thriving with one parent.
Yeah. No.
I mean,
no.
mine weren't thriving like children with two parents. I would say they weren't thriving like, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I was doing as good as I could as
Yeah.
one parent.
Right. I understand.
You know what I mean?
So the court has all of this stuff at its services, and the mother has requested appropriate counseling to address the parental alienation to reunify and establish the relationship between her and the children. However, the court does not believe it has at its disposal services that could improve the familial relationship. This is such a bunch of crap. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just.
Yep.
I feel the same way
Should
each
we
time I
take
read
this
it.
into the bathroom and just use it like it needs to be used?
No, you want this plastered, and actually, you really need to put her name on it. So,
Yeah.
so the court has no services at its disposal, and this is such garbage. No independent funds that can be dispersed for mothers' requested counseling. Moreover, the children continue to participate in therapy, which, as you said, is a lie.
Right.
While mother argues these services are inappropriate, which they are, the GAL, this wonderful GAL who knows everything about your children, when did she first meet them? About a year ago or something like that, or even.
No, the GAL just met him within the last 4 weeks.
Oh, wow. And she knows everything about the
yeah.
children.
Oh, yeah.
The guardian ad litem. And her name again is Nicole.
Garbus Nolan.
Good. Has informed the court that this therapy is appropriate. And the Courtney and KYLEIGH this is such a bunch of bull.
Right.
I guess.
Right.
I'm sorry, I just get mad every time I read the sentence. Regardless, whether the children's current therapist is appropriate is irrelevant to the matter at hand, as the mother has admitted there are no appropriate services in Iowa. I'm sorry, just,
So the blame is on the mother. The blame is on me.
I'm sorry, because the court does not have at its disposal the services sought, the court is and will be unable to adjudicate the family. This is such bull. As a family in need of assistance, regardless of any evidence, this is beautiful. I love this part here. Regardless of any evidence that may be presented at a hearing. So, in other words, if you had all the evidence lined up and you could prove beyond a shadow of a doubt to every single person in the entire United States, the court would say, we're unable to adjudicate the family matter as a family in need of assistance.
We're looking at your evidence, but
You know what? And you've got us convinced, but you know what? We're unable. We are morally, let me just say, we have this moral cloud that we can't make it. This is such bull. Therefore,
we're predicting the future because we're practicing witchcraft at the bench.
Therefore, no hearing is necessary. I'm sorry, every time, I'm only reading half the sentence.
Right.
No hearing is necessary as a matter of law, and dismissal of mother's petition is appropriate. What is this judge's name again?
Judge Rachael Seymour.
Judge Rachael Seymour.
Rachael Seymour, mother of 6.
This needs to go to her and to the newspaper there. Moreover, the appropriate forum to address visitation and service issues is for the mother to seek remedy through the district court that entered the modification decree. Now, wait a minute. The reason you're going to her is because it's a FINA case.
Right. Totally different.
Totally different. Kick the can down the road.
Yep.
This is bull.
And even Penny Reimer, the previous court-appointed attorney, when I said I don't like attorneys, I don't know if I want a court-appointed attorney, and she's the one that ended up quitting. She
Right.
said, Jodi, juvenile court is totally different than family court. I said, are you saying it's not fake? And she goes, exactly. So you're saying juvenile court's more real? And she goes, yes.
It sounds fake to me.
It's all one, like, I'm going to take the words from Melissa Martin. The courthouse, every one of them, is a big fairy tale castle.
Yeah. Fantasyland, whatever. You know,
And the judges are riding in on their freaking
and what Laura
uniforms.
Thompson says, the lady who was listening on the phone, she said, you know, we are under the illusion that you're going to get justice in the courts. And that is the biggest thing that the Americans need to be, you know, have the bubble burst on this. Justice is not
That's what Brian Kinder says. It's predicated on the illusion of justice.
Okay.
But there is none.
Okay, so moreover, the appropriate form to address the visitation and services issue is for the mother. This is bull.
So now,
Is to remedy through the district court that under the modification decree. Mother's petition makes clear she is unsatisfied with the father's role in the children's lives and believes the father has alienated the children from her. Mother has indicated that reunification counseling was at some point a part of the district court proceedings, which is true. Is that correct? Mother also indicated that therapy was discussed as part of those proceedings, even if her displeasure with the current therapy did not enter the district court's final modification decree. If father is indeed interfering in mother's relationship with the children, then the district court would be the appropriate venue to address visitation rights and the father's interference in that matter. Well, we'll just keep throwing it back and forth from court to court. The reality is Courtney and KYLEIGH are 17 years old. This is the part. I'm just reading ahead. Just months shy of their 18th birthday. And how long has it been since you've seen them?
Since March 19th, 2015.
So they were 16 or 15 at the time?
It's been over 800 days. They were 15. Just
15.
turned 15.
So from 15 to 18, they've been kept from you, alienated from you, brainwashed against you. But somehow, magically, on their 18th birthdays, something's going to change. This is such crap.
It'll be a magical reunion.
They are currently participating in services, which, as you said, they are not. If father is interfering with the relationship with Courtney and KYLEIGH, the district court, through modification order, of course, you know, we can get some more money out of you, Jodi, and drain you even further, and they'll probably kick it back to us then. We'll all get money, but you'll lose yours, is a more appropriate action than a family in need of assistance petition, even though you've spoken with Senator Grassley, where this court lacks the ability to grant the mother the services she seeks. It is therefore ordered and decreed the mother's petition for family in need of assistance is hereby dismissed for the reasons articulated above. It is so ordered on September the 28th, 2017. I'd appeal this immediately. This is bull.
Well,
this is bull.
This is what we're going to do. We're going to do a motion to enlarge and amend.
Okay.
And go through each and every one that me and you stopped and talked about, and have her.
I'm sure there's a lot more. Yes.
On what her reasoning is.
Yeah.
Expand on why the children don't deserve therapy.
Good.
With appropriate, because that'll toll the time for the appeal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm only gonna do it once, but it moves it 15 days, probably 15 to 30 days out. I don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid, Jeff, that if I go straight for the appeal, they'll go, oh, back up. You need to try to talk her into it first.
Yeah, I know. No, you need to do whatever you can. This is my opinion. So this is not you. You're a much kinder person than I am. I'd bury them in paperwork. Make sure the judge says, okay, Judge, after she finishes this, could you please explain the use of this prepositional phrase, right?
Oh, that's a good one.
Why did you put the period here instead of a comma?
Right.
I'm sorry. That's
that's
really mean.
Law.
Yeah, I know.
And
why did you come up with this convoluted reasoning and you call yourself a judge?
Right.
I mean, legal logic
why are they letting me basically be the judge finding the services?